Well, winning is certainly a prerequisite to becoming America's team, and the Cowboys' 5 Super Bowl titles are tied with the 49ers and Steelers for the most ever. Jerry Jones of the Cowboys reloaded this offseason. They had 2 first-round picks and selected Felix Jones and Mike Jenkins. Also, cornerback Adam Jones was acquired in a trade with the Titans, and 7-time Pro Bowler Zach Thomas brings his veteran leadership to the Cowboys. So, guys, Fran, TD, we know about their biggest acquisitions, but what do you think about the biggest concerns for the upcoming season?
Well, TD and Michelle just laid it out, how loaded they are, but what has you a little worried?
They have talent everywhere, but the 2 concerns I have is at the receiving position and the running back position. You know, T.O. has missed considerable time. Every year he's missed some games. You know, they're thin at receiving core. Terry Glenn, you really don't know his status right now, so there's got to be some concern with the receiving core. At the running back position, you have Marion Barber. He's a banger. He's a guy that comes in there, he pounds. He's never been a #1 running back, and there's a huge difference between a guy who's a #2 and a #1.
Well, they got Felix Jones, though, to sub him.
But he's a different style of runner. He's not your banging type of running back. He's not your between the tackles. He's a guy that can get out in the open field and give you those long runs. But Marion Barber is your guy. He's your banger. He's your every down running back. If he goes down, they're pretty thin after that.
All right, the Cowboys were 13-3 a year ago, and they fell in the playoffs. We talked to Tony Romo recently, and he actually referenced one of your early Denver Broncos teams.
I hate to say it, but back in the 90s, I think the Denver Broncos one year went 13-3 and lost to the Jaguars, and I think the same round we did last year. And, you know, they felt like they were a good football team, and then they come back and win the Super Bowl back-to-back years. And it was just maybe something they had to go through or something they had to experience to understand, you know, what those situations or what those times are like in the playoffs. And each year that goes by, we get a little bit smarter, a little bit better, and I think we're putting ourselves in a position here to make a run for a while, and hopefully we'll get the job done this year.
Tony Romo looking for inspiration, looking towards TD's Broncos, like those 96 Broncos.
The same.
As Tony mentioned, they were 13-3, headed to the playoffs. It's a top seed, but they lost 2 of their final 3 games, and they got bounced by the Jaguars, you guys did. Broncos came back, though, won back-to-back Super Bowls. Can the Cowboys get over that mental playoff block?
Like Romo mentioned, he said we had to go through that experience. They are now a little wiser, a little smarter, a little bit more experienced about how you handle that situation. If you've never been there, it's hard for you to have the maturity to go ahead and try to idle down toward the end of the year. Remember, they were so good that they could basically rest their guys up, and they still had home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Now this year, they're a little bit more hungrier. They understand what's at stake. They've got that taste of a good team, but now they're more experienced. And I believe they will get over the hump. They have the pieces there. They're the best team in the NFC on paper. Now they just need to go out there and get the job done.
Are they getting to the Super Bowl?
Absolutely. In the NFC, they are. Yes.
Okay.
I've already got them pinned in for the Super Bowl.